We do apologise, ladies and gentlemen, for anything that you have heard earlier on, or the fact that we are 6 laps already into this event. We've had a couple of technical issues, but we're here, we're live, it's Imola, it's CTC, and well, the party has already got itself underway on the global sim racing channel. Thank you for joining us here at such a stage as this. We've had ourselves a few moments in the early goings, and there's been some big moves and big shakers and some big events actually that have been going on. It's hashtag Do You Mind Jake Sperry, joined of course with Soup Crackers. Oh, Soup, well, goodness me, I'm having a nightmare. Sean Crackers Ambrose there. We'll get that one right eventually. I did 10 hours yesterday, that's the way it works. But the big one is second place in the championship. A certain Juha Noralampi is out, blew his engine a couple of laps ago, and as such has dropped out of position overall. So Nuno Moreira advantage him in the championship, but out front, Sergio Macias is who we are seeing out in front at the moment, Sean. And 2 seconds clear here at Imola. You don't often do it.
Yeah, it seems like early here, Sergio kind of picking up where he left off last week, looking pretty dominant. Plenty of great racing going on throughout the field here right now, though. I'm watching this battle for 15th is Clifton Cockrell being chased by Robert Simpkins, Sammy Valamaki, and Barry West. West, the driver, falling through the field right now, struggling with this Lotus 79, and then making a move there. Robert Simpkins coming to the outside of Clifton Cockrell as they come down into Tamburello.
Trying to make the move and makes it there. Very lovely done there by the driver of Robert Simpkins. And well, it was a little bit leaving too much room, I felt, there from Clifton Cockrell. He left himself all out of shape through turn number 2 there at the Variante Tamburello, so no real opportunities to make anything happen. Further up through the field, though, there's a really great battle going on for 9th position out on circuit. It's Clear Hughes, the Welshman, against Timu Toika, and Toika has been sat behind for about 3 laps, Sean, looking to try and make that move, but right now, unable to make anything happen.
Yeah, and it does seem the way it's been here around the track. Moves are at a premium right now. Not a lot of passing, but when that opportunity presents itself, it's been taken advantage. Nuno Moreira, Kyle Ruocola up front. Ruocola been working on this position now for, well, basically since the start of the race. 7 laps now. Nothing going as Nuno still holds advantage up there. You see this battle on screen, though, still between Hughes and Timu Toika and Juha there, Reina. What a battle indeed. Reina, though, falling off not falling off the pace, but has a way to go to catch QC Clapp. That's 7th, up in front by over 2 seconds.
2 seconds is maybe something they're looking at here in this 28-lap event at the circuit of Imola. And well, right now, it's about who can make the moves. Again, Clear Hughes under pressure. Toika looking to go down to the inside. No, will not cut it then at Villeneuve. So difficult to make a move into the left-right of Villeneuve. And then the run towards Toza, always going to be a difficult opportunity. But I was looking at Moreira's last lap time, a 1:34.9. A whole second quicker was Ruocola, as he's hoping to just try and get that position. And well, it's a case of waiting, because Ruocola has been doing pretty well in terms of championship standings. He's 4th as things stand at the moment, so crucial championship points could leapfrog him right now all the way up into 2nd position, Sean.
Now, Jake, someone who's taking advantage of some of the early trouble by some other drivers is Pablo Suarez right now, up 6 spots in that 6th spot, chasing Nicola Cocci, and Cocci a little bit slower right now. It's really Suarez having quite the drive, making a charge at him here in Rivazza 1, trying to pick up a little more ground out of Rivazza 2, maybe getting the toe here, coming down Variante Bassa, and down this long front straightaway. Definitely a good spot to make up ground, but it seems to be coming slow here for Suarez. Not going to get him here in Tamburello.
No, he's not going to have that opportunity. It is difficult to make the moves, even though it is a 1 kilometer front stretch. You really do struggle to make anything happen, and Pablo Lumbueras will know that better than anybody else. Cocci, the hometown boy here, he lives about 20 minutes away, Sean, from the circuit, so a hometown hero hoping to get himself going. And P5 for Cocci, here's a driver that we looked at 2 seasons ago and thought, yes, He has some very good ability in the Aurora Championship, but there is one crux to his game. There's always that one mistake that you see somewhere out on circuit.
Well, right now, today, Kochi is on point for sure. And, well, it is a long race, 28 laps, certainly a bit of a grinder here at Imola. So he is going to have to retain that focus. Hopefully we don't see that one fatal flaw today here at his home track.
Yeah, certainly we hope we don't see it. I want to keep my eye, though, on the 6th machine of Matt Wood right now here in 14th position. You'll see he started up in 2nd on the grid, but a lap 1 incident with Nora Lampe turned himself around, and Matt Wood is on the recovery drive right now. But the good news is he's about a second a lap quicker than all these drivers ahead, being Hughes, Toyka, Bycroft, Dalton. He can get all 4 of those positions, and hopefully that will get him back inside the top 10 where he belongs, Sean.
Yeah, Matt digging really hard right now. It's 5 seconds to Timothy Dalton, but listen, he's all alone on track. He's clear ahead and clear behind, can focus on the many challenges that Imola presents, and hopefully get himself up there. Dalton already closing in and already faster by just under 2 seconds. So Matt really throwing down the hot laps right now.
Certainly is side by side then between Hughes and Toyka, and Hughes all out of position then. Will lose 1 position through 3 and won't be losing the 2nd through 4. Bycroft had the opportunity but didn't manage to make it stick. Now Timothy Dalton back into the mix, and he is one of the drivers that you look at in Club UK and Ireland as one of them who puts in the most effort for them overall. Of course, the World Cup of iRacing coming very, very soon, Sean. So with that in mind, and drivers looking to try and find themselves a bit of respite, you sort of understand that certain drivers, you understand where they are and who is very good and who they can bring up to the table.
Jake, another driver had a little trouble early. Barry West, one of them, being chased by Flavio Saturnino. Barry just still seems to continue to struggle here as Flavio's coming around now. They head into Piratella here. We talked about how tough it is getting through here. And, boy, Flavio really paid dearly for that attempt to get a pass on the inside.
You have to make it perfect at Piratella. It's 90 degrees left-hander, all about momentum, and that wasn't the case. I do like Barry West. He sort of reminds me of old grit and determination in British engineering sort of terms, and he almost fits right into a Lotus 79, Sean.
Yes, he does, indeed. Flavio now picking it back up, though. Going to catch him coming down the hill here into Ravazza. And will he make that attack in Ravazza, too?
Not for the moment. I don't think. He had a little look there, but it was only a small I'm going to see what you have sort of thing there from Flavio Saturnino. And, well, he'll hope that he'll get through here to 22. He started 16th, respectively, so he's down 3. West is down 1, so this is to stem the bleeding here for Saturnino. And both of them actually trying to catch up back to Clifton Cockrell and doing a good job of things, actually, catching a couple of tenths of a second a lap or so, but right now, you have to say, it's about who is going to just keep it on the island. We've had 3 retirements so far today. Mark Winfield, Juho Nora Lampe, and still running, actually, so only 2 retirements, but 2 laps down, is John Keith in the 20, who's had a pretty abysmal start to the day.
He has, indeed. Now, moving a little bit further up the pack, checking on Juho Reyna, still chasing Suarez, but continues to take an occasional look at pulling off a pass here. Now, Reyna started back in 15th and also has done a good job of coming through this field and basically done it by just following under the wing of Suarez, a pretty good dance partner in front of him indeed.
Yeah, it certainly is. Following Pablo Lumbreras is the way you go forward. And for Juho Reyna, he needs to know how to make that move. They've got Kochi in front, which will be negating any form of slipstream that is generated off these Lotus 79s. And whilst they do try and use the slipstream as much as possible, there is another big issue that they're going to encounter here today, Sean, and that's the ground effect here, because with all that ground effect, with all that aero that he's done by sucking the air into that vehicle down underneath the tray, back out again, you have to feel that it's going to be really difficult to follow around here today, especially with the fact that making moves is so dependent on being within 3-4 tenths of a second, and not many drivers get to do that here because of the fact that it is so stop-starty around Imola.
Yeah, it really is. And boy, you losing that downforce can really, really kill you here. And well, we saw it earlier, what the cost of an attempted and failed pass can be, and how much time you'll lose. You spend all that time trying to get back to him, and you make the same mistake, and you're back at it again. And like you said, it's so stop and starty. It's just, boy, if you can't carry the momentum and you can't continue to move forward, you're going to just be kind of stuck in the quicksand, as they say.
Yeah, nobody wants to be stuck in the proverbial quicksand. And again, Reiner not getting the best run there out of the Variante Alta. It's a part of the circuit where it has been elongated, shall we say, for safety reasons as well. It used to be a massively quick right-left that everyone could just attack as much as they could, but now you see those anti-cut curves in play. And of course, with a very fragile suspension here, Sean, that's going to mean it's so difficult to really get a good run unless you're a very brave man.
Yeah, it's going to take... it's going to use another word besides bravery, but that's okay. We'll stay with that. Look at this on screen, though. Suarez going at it here.
Well, he's made the move.
Yeah, this battle's been heating up for quite a while.
It's very good. Look at Kochi, though. He's going to go to the right-hand side, try and go around the outside at Villeneuve, and he makes it stick. My good, you don't make it stick at Villeneuve, but he's not done around the outside back at Tota. Well, I was thinking that brave men tried in different places. I didn't think, whoa! Round goes Pablo Lambueras. He takes out Juho Reiner in the situation, and oh, dear me. Well, it was threatening there, Sean. Oh, goodness me. Freudian slip, but you can't believe it there. Reiner, you don't know how you're supposed to save that, but that is unfortunate, innocent bystander for Reiner.
It really is. Oh, what a shame. Reiner was having such a good run, and I talked about what a partner Suarez was there to follow him, and, well, that partnership ended, unfortunately, very quick. And Reiner in a really, really cool paint scheme, too, by the way, and he continues on, fights through it. I kind of recognize that as the Al Unser Valvoline scheme of the late 80s, actually, on an Indy car.
Well, you certainly pick up your influences from certain areas, so whatever paint it is, decide to run it, have a good job. You can see the damage there. That's with Suarez. Oh, my goodness, there's more contact between them. And that was Pablo Lambueras struggling there. The vehicle was crabbing around, and there's that small kink on the run there to Ravazza, Sean, and it happens like that. You can't do much when you've got a vehicle that badly damaged.
Wow. You know, that's hard to call exactly. Did he know he was there? It just seems like it almost seems like Suarez just had no idea he was on the way down there.
Well, it's very difficult when you've got so much element of, you know, lean that's there on the vehicle. It's being crabbed at about 20 degrees difference right now, which is always going to be a nightmare. That's going to be a long fix for Pablo Lambueras. But the issue that's there from that, though, Sean, is that even if you knew he was there or not, there was a gap that the driver of what was going to be Reiner could have attacked and gone through, and he did. And he's having another little wiggle out to Toza. But the point of the matter is, it's the vehicle snapping on the driver of Pablo Lambueras. And if you can't control that, then you try and pull to the side as much as you can. You don't hog the middle of the road.
Yeah, he was kind of in the middle of it there, so good point indeed. Steve Bycroft right now finds himself still holding on to the 8th spot, and Lyre Hughes, who is up to finding a little bit of pace here. Bycroft, I think, might have had a little bit of a bobble, but Hughes definitely taking advantage of that here as he closes in Ravazza.
Yeah, he certainly does need to. He's lost that position to Bycroft already here, so he needs to make sure that he stays within that 1 to 1.5 second window. Clear Hughes, because you have to really get the phlegm in your voice for that one, Sean. You have to really clear Hughes. It's one of the most yes, it's one of the most difficult names I think I've ever come across. But back to the action, though. I want to keep an eye on Moreira here, because he's actually closing down in onto Pani Lilluauto in 2nd position. And just in front of them, traffic, Thomas Heldstrom, that they're going to have to try and get past. And, well, 1 will go through before the Variante Alta, 2 will go through before the Variante Alta. But Moreira right now, I think he's looking at 2nd position thinking, I can't do much more than this. I want to get myself P2.
Yeah, he's got a shot at it. I mean, the times between the two, between Tapani and Nuno, are so close right now. I really think Tapani's going to have to make a significant mistake if Nuno's going to have any opportunity to get around, as long as they keep staying running the basically identical times here. Something's going to have to give.
Something is. So it's a 1:33.4 from Nuno Moreira response, 33.7 from Lino Luoto. So 0.3 of a second get locked off the gap. Just a shade over 1 second then between Lino Luoto and Moreira. So the pair of them doing a very good job at complementing each other, but both of them 7 seconds behind Sergio Macias. And Macias is just doing the Macias drive. He is pulling away. If you look at qualifying, he was 0.7 of a second, Sean, above anybody else. That's ridiculous.
Barry West just had big trouble coming out of Acqua Minerale. Really hard shunt for him. That's going to end his race.
Yeah, trying to get onto the power then on the exit, and that's torque oversteer. They are very ferocious machines, and spread eagle across the circuit heading towards that section of track. Barry West, yes, a big incident, and the casualties then continue at Imola. I think that has to be saying. But going back to my point, 0.7 quicker with Sergio Macias in qualifying. That is insane.
Yeah, it really is. I mean, that's just being on another page than your competition, honestly, at this track.
Another page? I'd say he's in another book.
Yeah.
Let alone a page right now. He's doing a fantastic job, and he's 0.7 of a second quicker that last lap. But Lino Luoto, again, being closed down in by Nuno Moreira, the championship leader. And Tapani Lino Luoto, no slouch, always has that big racing pedigree. Anyone who's been in sim racing for at least 4 or 5 years knows how good Tapani Lino Luoto is. And Moreira brings the gap down 0.7 of a second now between them. And in about 2 laps or so, if he continues this pace, Sean, we're going to have some side-by-side.
I'm a little surprised at Ruacola's pace today. Just doesn't seem to be really on par with our leaders, and that's a bit of a surprise. Ruacola always wanted to be fighting for a podium. Maybe not a big fan of Imola, might be my guess.
That might certainly be the case for Kaya Ruacola, but let's look further back, because Clear Hughes is in a battle with Matt Wood on the comeback, looking for position number 9. Is Wood then to the outside? He'll have to go towards turn number 2 at Tamburello. He tries it, but it doesn't quite pull off. Good defensive driving there by Clear Hughes there. He did a very good job of holding the middle of the road, and at Imola, that is your best friend here.
Indeed. Man, Hughes really just on top of that wheel, fighting off Matt Wood. Matt not looking very comfortable in the chaser's position right now.
No, he isn't. He's looking a little bit out of sorts, a little bit of a rag and bone man, shall you say, in certain situations. Into Piratella then, left-hander, 135 kilometers an hour. We're getting back onto the power and running it down the hill towards Acqua Minerale. Double apex, right-hander you hit. The first right, brakes, second right. Up the hill, left-hander, out of the complex towards the Variante Alta. Brave men make the move, but you don't have much time for a run to make things happen as such. Heavy on the brakes into the right left, and you will see Matt Wood now trying to do everything to get past, because he knows that he can run a quicker pace, because you see Steve Bycroft pulling away at 0.4 of a second a lap. Chance at Ravazza though here, Sean. He looks to the inside. My goodness, they almost touch on the way in, but they touch in the second part of the complex. My goodness.
Boy, and what has this done for Timothy Dalton? Here comes Dalton coming through.
Easy pickings then, like a vulture. He just picks off the scraps of the bones as Timothy Dalton, and up into the top 10 overall, and that is suspension damage for Matt Wood.
Yep.
His bad day goes to a complete nightmare.
And off into the pits for Matt Wood.
I mean, we have seen a lot of incident here today. I mean, you talk about Nora Lampe blowing his engine up. Matt Wood involved in 2 separate incidents here today. This circuit doesn't always promote shall we say, open, expansive racing where you can basically have an acre on either side like a Herman Tilke design track, Sean. You really do have to be pretty concise about where you place your vehicle.
Yeah, you're absolutely right. We've seen it a couple of times today, even before we got started with the broadcast. John Stevens off track, causing a bit of a log jam here watching him fight in 12th place. Robert Simpkins just behind him almost took advantage of that. They were getting past the lapped car of John Keefe, who sits back in 21st place.
And that's the issue there, Sean, that they were looking at, because even though there's lap traffic there and it was right there on the apex, you've got to be careful about what happens and when something happens around it. So now, Simpkins versus Stevens, the battle going on for position number 13 out on circuit, still looking to try and pull everything back into play. And well, right now, for that 11 machine, it's about trying to make something happen. It's about doing something that people don't normally expect. But John Stevens, he's a driver that doesn't get enough credit, I don't think, Sean, for just how good of a driver that he can be. He's +1 for today, Simpkins +7, but these drivers, they form the backbone of the points of the team's championship here in CTC.
Yeah, and Stevens dealing with a little bit of damage on the front of that car, but I think at this point, most of these Lotus 79s probably have a little bit of a bend or two in that front wing. He is going to let Simpkins get by, though. That's New England and New Jersey working together. You don't generally see that.
No, you don't. So, as far as American football goes, I'm not the most knowledgeable man in the world in terms of coming to that, but Stevens and Simpkins, the position changes, and it does very well. The battle for second, though, hotting up. Morera versus Linaloto. Morera has had a very good lap to close that gap in half. It was up at 9/10 of a second again. Now it's going to come right back down again. Morera over the stripe. He goes and looks to try and get himself even further. 33.4 against 34 flat. Look to the outside from Morera. He'll think better of it. He wants a better and clear-cut opportunity, but he's only got 9 laps to make it happen, Sean.
Yeah, you know what? It seemed like just a short time ago we still had a whole bunch of this race left, and boy, it is going away here. But Nuno has done exactly what I thought he needed to do, and that was finally start turning in some better laps, and that, boy, that has really paid off. And now Nuno right up under the wing. A good exit there. He keeps that momentum for this chase.
He certainly does. Up the hill then, the draft will be very more beneficial. In towards the left-hander they come of Piratella, and down the hill they go in the Italian countryside. Of course, this was known as the San Marino Grand Prix, mainly because it was the closest circuit to San Marino when they have Monza a little bit further down the coast. But right now, Morera is hoping that he's got this opportunity. Traffic ahead in Thomas Lindahl may be very beneficial through the left-hander, and there's a bit of a hold-up then as Lindahl has to pull over to the left-hand side of the circuit to let them through. Morera's got a chance now into Ravazza. He'll do it the long way round. He'll think about it. 1 move, 2 move, down on the brakes onto the inside. Little Loto, a little bit of a lock-up then coming through. Lost the rear axle, and thank you very much. Through goes Nuno Morera, but Sean, not done towards turn 1.
Tell you what, man, there's a little bit of pressure there on Tapani. Hey, he recovers okay. Let's see if he's going to make a move back at him here as we head on down to Tamburello.
Oh, he's thinking about it. Left, right, which way do I go? He decides right, and it's the wrong move. He should have thrown one down left, and he had a chance to do it. And that was indecisiveness from Linaloto, something you don't normally see from a veteran of his quality, and he could have done that move down to the inside, but as such, he'll wait, and he misses the apex there at Villeneuve. That's going to lose him a couple more tenths of a second. Wow. Just wow.
Oh, and trouble for Reina. Big trouble for Reina. Yeah.
Wow, so the 10 machine out of the event. Get an eye on where he's gone off, and my goodness, that's coming out of Acque Minerale up the hill. It's very difficult to get the power down, and Tank Slapper turned around, and well, he was straight in the grass, and he's decided, nope, that's enough. I can't finish this race any further. Still, other battles on circuit. Got likes of Vastamarchi versus Stevens now. Stevens falling backwards here as Sami Vastamarchi, or Valamarchi, shall I say there, as I correct myself, will make the move down to the inside, take the position, and I think Stevens has damage.
He does. Stevens got some front wing damage, and I think he's got some under tray damage as well. That Lotus off pace, and Jake, he even made the call on the radio for Sammy to come around. He did the same thing with Simpkins earlier, and Suarez when Suarez was still in the race. So John been driving this car for a while with a little bit of damage, but hey, listen, he still sits within the top 15. In fact, right now he's in 13th. That's exactly where he started. So right now, not a bad deal for him. He just needs to hang on here for these last 7.5 laps.
Exactly, that's what they need to do. And for Nuno Moreira, you have to remember, in terms of the championship, he didn't actually need to make the move on Lotus or Machias, for even that matter of fact, because both of them aren't registered into the CTC Championship. Both of them will be fighting for the iRacing Championship. Of course, using an official race, there are 2 different championships you fight for, so there's 2 different reasons why you race against other people at this sort of time. But my goodness me, has Machias pulled away now. The gap's up to 9.5 seconds at the front.
I'll tell you what, the battle between Toika and QC Clap is a good one to watch right now, because Toika has taken a couple looks and survived the loss of momentum. Right now, Toika is keeping it very, very close here, Jay, and QC Clap very busy in the mirror right now, trying to defend that 6th position that he's worked so hard to get up to.
And this is very important for the team's championship, because QC Clap is the teammate of Juha Noralampi, with Noralampi not scoring points after his non-finish with the blown engine. You feel that Clap's got to hold on to every position that he can, and this is a very good drive from QC Clap. But Teemu Toika is certainly no slouch. He wants to make redemption for what happened at Sebring, the amount of mistakes he made into Sunset Bend, but now in towards the left-hander, and a good amount of AstroTurf on the exit there for QC Clap. Just gets himself just enough of a run, and a good Ravazza 1 and 2, and I think he's safe for another lap, Sean.
For another lap, let's see here.
Let's see indeed. So gets a good run out of Ravazza 2, does the driver of Teemu Toika. The gap 0.3 of a second. The gap trying to close to 0.2 of a second, but there's always these small little curves that you see, the rights and the lefts all throughout the circuit. You've got to make sure you stay with them. Gap 0.4 of a second now. In fact, he's opening it up. It's QC Clap, and that's going to be frustrating for Toika, because he wasn't able to close any time down, hoping that maybe Kochi comes back into play and forms a blocker to make his way around QC Clap.
Yeah, and Kochi kind of falling back into that battle just a bit now. Definitely got to watch here. Kochi, with such great pace early, seems to have come at a cost here late in this race. Maybe used up a little bit too much of that car, but Kochi going to have to work hard to hang on to it here at this point.
It certainly is. When they cross the line, it's 5 laps to go at Autodromo Enzo Edino Ferrari. So a lot of drivers thinking, I've now got to get my moving day sorted. I've got to try and make some position. So Toika thinking about it on QC Clap. Good run here coming out of the small left-hander there, out of Acque Minerale, to try and make that run towards the right-left of what is the Variante Alta. Of course, a lot tamer than it was in years gone by. But again, Clap gets a good run out to the exit. Toika's very good on entry. It has to be slow into fast out, Sean, if you're ever going to get a chance of making a move.
Yeah, absolutely. And you know what? A good example of that right now is what's going on up front between Moreira and Linelauto. Listen, there is no question that Tapani is a very, very fast driver, but in Nuno Moreira's wake right now, just able to do nothing with it. Not able to make any significant gain or even get an opportunity to pass Moreira right now. Moreira has done a really, really good job of just staying in line and, when he needs to, making the car just as wide as possible. Yeah,
you got to make it as wide as you possibly can.
Oh, well, and a slip up by Tapani just behind him.
Yeah, and Tapani getting a little bit frisky then at Acque Minerale. He was too deep in on the brakes. In fact, he had himself 2 tyres on the grass. And of course, those rear tyres do not like getting any sort of form of different substance on them. And as such, Linelauto out of the battle for the final spot on the podium. Let's keep an eye, though, on the battle between Kochi, Clap and Toika, because Kochi is running at about, shall we say, 0.7 of a second slower right now, Sean. He is gullible to losing 2 positions.
Yeah, and of course, as the pressure starts to close in, you got to be just so careful of avoiding that, that one fatal mistake that you and I both talked about earlier that Kochi seems to be susceptible to at times. It might be the traffic, though, getting in the way.
Slightly, but gets around it. Just about that was Thomas Lindahl again. He doesn't like that section of the track. And remember, it's 1 split. You normally see 2. And that's very crucial, Sean, because that means you could have someone who has never experienced racing in one of these vehicles, and it is so hard, the learning curve.
Yeah, it really is, indeed. Although the strength of field very strong today in this 26-car field, just over 3,000. Pretty tough competition. Here he comes. And
there he goes.
And he gets him, yeah.
Yeah, well done there, QC Clap. He takes the position. He runs too deep at turn 1, though. And look at Kochi. No, there's contact. He's almost up and over. My goodness me. Kochi will be hard done by that. He had just about enough room, and I think that's damage to the right rear of that vehicle. That's day done for Kochi, the hometown boy. Well, they're all going to be very upset in the stands after that one.
Yeah, the Tifosi are not happy right now at all. And the Kochi's still struggling as he gets around Lindahl, trying to recover from this. But the damage on the left front wing, significant on Kochi's machine. And that wheel hop got that car up and over there, Jake.
Yeah, it was a massive bit of contact between the pair of them. And, well, I was very surprised to not see that Lotus flip into the gravel trap. Gravel traps are designed to normally send a vehicle over when it's up on 2 wheels, so you always have to err on the side of caution, but that hasn't stopped Clap versus Toika, and that could bring Toika back in if there was any damage on the side of QC Clap's machine. Toika will exploit that now, and with just 3 laps to go actually when they cross the line. They've got not long to make it happen here, does Toika.
Boy, and that gives Bycroft another position too, as he was able to get in front of Kochi as a result of that. Bycroft had been working hard, but had not moved position in this race, now up to 7th.
And that's crucial because Bycroft is 5th in the championship overall and hopeful for getting through. And Stevens has had a spin whilst being lapped by Sergio Macias. It shows you how much issues John Stevens is starting to have, as Moreira will be the next driver to go through on him. But right now, it's all about Toika versus Clap here. The battle in the team's championship for P5 now overall on circuit after bumping Kochi out of that top 5 scrap, and it's a double apex take from QC Clap there. He is struggling now with that turning circle after that contact that he had with Nicola Kochi, Sean.
Yeah, Tosa is so hard to figure out down there, and boy, QC did seem to struggle with it just a bit. Timu really on top of it now as they come down the hill here.
It all looks fine. It all looks very nice and clean from both drivers. Look at the run though off the exit that Toika's going to get. He's going to close the gap down to about 0.2 of a second. He's not going to be close enough to make the move into the Variante Alta, and you can see just how contrasting the lines are. Get a good run at the exit. There isn't one, and good avoidance from Toika. That was a completely wrong line from QC Clap, who was all on the outside on the AstroTurf. No grip there, and thank you very much. Timu Toika up to the point, up to P5. Now Clap's got work to do.
Boy, Timu looked really patient and reserved right there. Just makes just a slight adjustment. God, man, that was smooth, Jake. That was really smooth.
It certainly was, but look at this. Clap is going to come straight back at him then with 2 laps to go to the outside. He's really set that up for straight line speed. He thought about it, but he's earlier on the brakes and as such can't make the move, and that's a shame for QC Clap. He's got now one more opportunity maybe at turn number 1 to make something happen. But Sean, this race has been a crazy one.
It really has. Right up to our technical difficulties into the race itself, it has been crazy. You know, one thing we probably haven't mentioned is the fact that this is an open setup on these cars. We talk about the difference in speed and how Clap was able to close up on Timu there just a moment ago. Nobody's running with the same set here, so one could be set up for that straight line speed, another one set up for turning. It make all the difference here in what type of run you're able to get on somebody.
Yeah, there's a great battle going on for position number 14. Cockerell right now in a scrap with Daniele Gattuso. And we'll have a look at this one. Gattuso 5th in Teams Championship in that Ferrari. Goes around the outside, takes that position. Very well played. But we're on the final lap here in the Global Sim Racing channel here at Imola. And it's been one man dominating at the front of the field all race long. As he rounds Tosa, it's Sergio Macias in a number 3 machine. He leads the iRacing point standings. He's not here to play CTC rules, not by any stretch of the imagination. He's here for one reason, and for one reason only, and that one is to win. The battle between Clap and Toika is a little bit more expansive than it was 1 lap ago. I don't see QC Clap getting close enough to make a move just yet. So we will focus then on your race leader, who is now heading himself towards the Variante Al to the right and then the left. And now he is just a few corners away from back-to-back victories here on Global Sim Racing Channel Broadcasting. He's got himself this small kink right under the bridge. No sponsorship on it as of yet. On the brakes, Ravazza 1 and Ravazza 2 is just waiting. I said it would be Muchas Macias for Sergio Macias. Well, it is certainly Muchas Macias. Denara. Sergio Macias wins here at Imola in very convincing fashion. Nobody could even hold a candle to the wind against him. Moreira finishes second in still the battle that has been going on with Lilo Luoto. It will be fourth position for Kaye Ruicola. But look at P5. Clap fading in the final stages right now, Sean.
Yeah, boy, and I think Clap spent too much time trying to hold off Teemu Toika to have any legitimate shot left at him. They get through Alta one last time, make the trip down to Ravazza. Any chance Clap has got, it's going to be down to Ravazza. All Teemu's got to do is just keep it solid through here, and he does. Keeps it on the track, plays it safe. Got to get through that final turn safely, the left-hander, and QC Clap just going to have nothing for him. Teemu Toika going to take that fifth spot. QC will come home in sixth today. Looks like Steve Bycroft going to hang on to that seventh spot if he can just get to the last section of the course here, and he does.
Yeah, it's been fantastic racing from Bycroft. He shows that he just scores consistent points, and that's why he's always up there in the championship, doing a very good job. Here comes Matt Wood, though, in the sixth, and 19th position from a front row start. You know, there's some memories of Mark Webber and Jaguar when you see that, how he'd always outperform the vehicle to get himself onto the front row, but when it came to the race, he'd just fall back. Yeah, certainly Matt not going to be very happy with this result today. He'll live to fight another day, but this definitely got to be a disappointment for that team. Certainly has to be, but with everyone across the line, we're going to step aside for one moment because of the post-race show coming to you here on the Global Sim Racing Channel after this. The crazy race is over. It was pretty straightforward at the front, but up and down the field, great battling regardless here on the Global Sim Racing channel. CTC finishes up then at Imola, so it's time, and high time, shall we say, at what is for me at high 6:32 to go down the results. Sergio Macias, again, a back-to-back race winner, 43 minutes, 43 seconds, 10 clear of Nuno Moreira. It takes a very good driver to go 10 seconds clear of Nuno Moreira in second. Tapani Lotus will finish in third, ahead of Kai Ruokola, who had a very quiet day in fourth. Fifth position, though, Timu Toika holds off QC Clapp in the final couple of laps with a very good overtake. Steve Bycroft will finish seventh. Nicola Kochi will be bumped down the order to eighth, no fault of his own. Clear Hughes will finish in ninth, and it's Timothy Dalton, UKNI stalwart, inside the top 10.
I'm going to work on that Clear Hughes for next time. 11th today, going to be Robert Simpkins, the New Jersey driver. Has a great run. Comes up from 20th to get that 11th spot. Flavio Saturnino will finish 12th. Sammy Valimaki, 13th today. John Stevens with a 14th place run. Daniel Gattuso, 15th for the Italian driver. And not a bad drive. That's 7 spots gained for him. Clifton Cockrell, the man from Texas, only can pull off 16th here today at Imola. Thomas Hedstrom, 17th. 18th, going to go to Matt Wood. Thomas Lindahl, 19th. And the Indiana driver, John Keefe, has a positive result. 20th place, up 5 spots.
Yes, but now we head to all the vehicles that failed to finish the race. We got Juho Reiner, 21st, Barry West, Francisco Javier, Pablo Lambueras, Juha Noralampi, the big shock of all with the blown engine. And right at the start of the race, Mark Winfield in the 17, running into some issues here and there. And well, what we are going to do is we're now going to jump in for some interviews here and there. And well, first and foremost, Nuno Moreira going to join us here. Nuno, position number 2, fighting with drivers not in the CTC Championship battle, and seeing your main rival go out with an engine in the opening couple of laps, you have to say that everything's smelling of roses. Check, check. Nuno, can you hear?
Yes. Can you hear me?
Yeah, we can hear you now, buddy. So we were saying perfect day for you with what's happened to Nora Lampi.
Oh, bad luck for him. In the previous race, I also ruined my engine, so it can happen here. It's nothing that unusual, but hey, tough luck for him. On my side, it was a fun race. I had fun with Tapani. It's good to see him again, sharing the track with us. Great guy, great driver. And Sergio was just out of this world again. I don't know what's happening with him. I'm sure this is some disease that he will cure anytime soon. I hope.
Well, hopefully someone will find a way to stop the unstoppable Sergio Macias, but that doesn't necessarily affect you in the sense of your championship. You've got that advantage. You had a very good run here today, and of course that battle with Tapani Linaloto, it was all about getting to within that 1 second and then having the opportunity to make that move, and take it you did with the one chance you got.
Yeah, absolutely. There's not many chances with a driver like Tapani. I had a little bit more top speed, and he had some trouble with a lapped car, and I just took the chance. But because our pace was really similar, and wow, it's amazing how he can come back to us and fight at the top. It's just awesome.
It is amazing to see, but from Imola, it's a brand new circuit next week. We're heading to Snetterton, and I'm very excited about seeing Snetterton. But you yourself, have you had any chance to do any test laps before this week for the first ever Snetterton race in CTC?
Zero. I haven't yet bought the track either, so I need to go there and go there this week and do a couple of laps. But it will be very fun. It will be because it's like starting from zero for everyone, so it's going to be very, very interesting. I hope the track is good for the Lotus.
Well, certainly hope that is as well. Before we let you go, Nuno, second place, shout out sponsors. Who gets it done?
Hey, no sponsors on my side, just racing for fun. And well, I just want to leave the usual compliment to all the drivers in the Lotus 79. And hey, keep up the good racing. It's been awesome. Thank you very much, guys. Bye.
Have a good one then. Nuno Moreira joining us second position overall. And Sean, you found Tapani Linaloto.
Boy, I did. And Tapani, what a race. The fight between you and Nuno, it lasted the whole race. And there at the end, Nuno takes advantage of a little bit of a mistake by you there. And you just weren't able to get an advantage back around him there at the end. Tell us a little bit about that drive.
Wow, it was a tough one. The car wasn't that friendly to drive to me. The setup wasn't that good, but my main problem was the lack of top speed. So I thought I could hang to the back of Nuno in the last few laps, but small mistakes here and there, some wiggle at the wrong moment, and it's all gone, and it's really hard to climb back to the gearbox. So it was a tough one, but really fun nonetheless.
What makes it so tough to make a pass here at Imola?
Well, I'm not sure if it's tough, but if you have the top speed, it's a great track. It's technical. There's a lot of places where you can gain an advantage to the driver in front, and I didn't have that much time to tune the setups. And I noticed the last moment I was running too much wing, so last moment decisions with the setup, it's tough.
Yeah, so just missed it a little bit on the downforce, and boy, at a track like Imola, that can make a big difference. So you've got a lot of spots here where you can run wide open, and certainly when you're in that draft, that wing can make a big difference. But you still get a podium spot, and you'll have a good day in the points. Anybody you'd like to thank today?
Well, I'd like to thank everybody who was driving like Nuno did, and friends and families and so on.
Well, we look forward to seeing you back next week, probably somewhere here up near the front. Hope we get a chance to talk to you again. Again, congratulations on the podium finish today for Tapani Linaloto. And Jake, I think you've caught up with Barry West.
Yes, I have. Barry West. Always a pleasure to be in the booth with Barry West. But Barry, things went due east after that one, non-finish.
Yeah, they certainly did. All started lap 1. Can you hear me okay?
Yeah, we can hear you fine, buddy.
Yeah, lap 1, I got caught up in, I think I went in the back of Clifton Cottrell when Matt Wood braked, or I think Clifton hit the back of Matt, or something happened in front, and all of a sudden it just was a non-stop area in the chicane, and I just braked but clipped into Clifton. And that gave me front wing damage, and I lost pace then. And then it just went downhill from then on. I think got up to about 15th, I think, but the pack in front were too far ahead, and I was in the 36s. I should have been in the mid 35s, but yeah, I'd have liked to have been up with Robert Simpkins because I was at one time. But yeah, just it's a funny track. There sometimes it goes well and sometimes it doesn't, and classic track, but it's lovely to race on.
Oh, absolutely. This is why I say it's my most favourite circuit of them all. But, of course, the incident that you had at Acque Minerale, that was certainly something for a bit of snap oversteer.
Yeah. Who was it? Flavio. We've had a few run-ins lately. We're about the same pace, I think. And consequently, we've had a few coming together. That was, I'll hold my hand up for that one. I didn't realise he was so far at the inside when I turned in, so I deserve to be pushed wide for that one. But this is the one at top of Acque Minerale, yeah. So yeah, you got the place there. And then running wide, when I ran wide down the bottom of the hill, I let Matt Wood through because he was recovering. And I knew he was quicker, his car didn't look so damaged, so I thought I'll let him through. I had a good 1.5 to 2 seconds on Clifton by then, and I thought I could pull away. And then I let Matt through, they were all caught up, and then I went off and I think I spun, didn't I? And then I ended up coming on behind everybody again. So it was, it was not a happy day today. The first race I get into, because I was in the second split last week and the week before. Yeah, just the way it goes, I suppose. That's racing. But next week, get my head down, get the IR up, and hopefully we can do better next week.
Certainly, and of course, home track next week, Snetterton. And how are you feeling about it? Have you had any chance to set any laps?
I've done a few in the Lotus, but not many. I've done more in the Skippy. I did a little UK&I race in the Skippy. I don't know which layout we're using. I've been driven
200.
Yet. The 200. Right. Yeah, that's going to be interesting. A new track. You know, not people know it that well. Home track should do well, but you never know. Anything could happen, can't it?
Anything can happen in racing. Barry West there, always a pleasure to have him in the booth with us. And a late arrival, Sean, you found Teemu Toika.
Ooh, Teemu Toika is here. Yes, Teemu. Boy, a heavy presence of the drivers from Finland up there in the top 5. You had quite a battle there, though, with QC Clapp for a while. What was that like? Teemu, can you hear us? Teemu struggling with that microphone here, trying to get him up and running now. I'll give him just a second. Jake, Teemu, everything good there now?
Hello, 1, 2.
Yes, there you are. All right. Man, that was quite a battle out there today. You and QC Clapp look to be having a little bit of fun. Tell us a little bit about it.
I had a pretty poor practice session leading towards this race, but yeah, qualified I think 9th, and then had a fairly bad start. I just spun my wheels too much, and everybody just passed me and dropped down to like 10th, 11th, and just started working my way up in the standings. I had some luck with I think Juho span off with someone else. I can't remember. I think it was Pablo or something, and then eventually caught up to QC and Nicola, and I was just holding back, seeing if they battle, and they did. And going into turn 1, they touched a bit, and I think QC got some damage from that. And yeah, then I think, was it 2 laps to go when I got him coming out of the chicane, and I knew he had major top speed advantage over me, so I just tried to keep the inside going into turn 1, and yeah, I think that got me to top 5, my first top 5 in a while.
Well, I'll tell you what, it's great that you got a top 5. I mean, you're 20th overall in the official iRacing series right now, so obviously you've had enough success to find yourself up there just 3 rounds in. We head to a new track next week, and have you had any time to prepare there? Are you familiar with Snetterton?
I have bought the track, yes, but I haven't driven a yard yet. I think I've last driven Snetterton on R-Factor like 4 years ago on a touring car, so I can't really say much about the track.
Yeah, but it's going to be very challenging in this car.
Yeah, we'll have to see.
All right. Well, we appreciate you coming in and taking a moment with us. We will see you next week when we get to Snetterton, and hopefully you can get throwing another top 5 finish for us.
Yeah, let's hope so. And thank you.
All right, and thank you to Teemu Toika. Jake, we're talking about Snetterton. We did the Lotus 49 from Snetterton yesterday, the 200, and that's what we'll be doing next week in the 79. I can tell you that this is going to be a challenge for these drivers. They haven't been on a track like that this year.
No, they haven't. It is completely juxta to anything that you will see. And, well, it will be a challenge for broadcasters as well, trying to say bomb hole properly without making it sound like something too crude and crass. But anyway, aside from that, it's going to have to be all that we have time for here this afternoon, this evening, this morning, wherever you are around the world. And it must be a time that we have to offer our thanks to all of you that have been watching the action here this afternoon, and to all the drivers and teams of the Classic Teams Championship for their stunning battles and their decision to fly GSRC. Thank yous also have to go out to the companies, equipment and software that have been plaguing our man behind the desk and also affiliated with this afternoon's broadcast. Also, we would like to thank Eric Ekholm and Casey Lalonde for the music that you have heard this afternoon. Details on how to contact them are on screen as we speak. And speaking about contacts, if you are wishing to have your series broadcast or just want to find out when the next dose of sim racing action or otherwise is live, pop over to the globalsimracingchannel.com or check us out on social media with the Twitter handle at GSR Channel, or catch us on Facebook as the Global Sim Racing Channel. It's a brand new venture next week, as we have said. We're heading from Italy back to Blighty, because it will be the first time that we will see the Lotus 79s at Snetterton. But as always, that has been Sean Crackers Ambrose, that has been Joe Peak, and that has also been the man who some say he washes the car that he owns with the tears of Sebastian Vettel fans. That's Dougie Beard. I have been hashtag Do You Mind Jake Sperry. And well, muchas gracias yet again. Anyone can stop him? I'd give you a bit of money if you could. Always remember, race clean, race hard, and we'll see you on the track.